Hey, what's happening? Welcome to Friday night in my kitchen. I'm Green Thumb. It's hot. Let me tell you, it's about 35 Celsius outside, and it's even hotter in here because I have 2 pots of water on the stove. Today, we're making pickled beets. So I'm not even opening this until I put gloves on. So let me walk you through what we've done so far. I have washed the beets. I have boiled the beets for 15 minutes plus or minus, and I've already taken the peels off. If you've never worked with beets before, you gotta understand they will stain everything. I'm literally wearing like old grubby clothes, guys. Like, look, I got old painting pants on and stuff. Beets will stain everything purple. Okay? Don't say I didn't warn you. If you're making beets, wear gloves. Okay? You're also going to need an old towel to cover your work surface. Trust me. Take the staining issue seriously. Okay? Get that out of the way. We're good? We all understand? Good. You're all adults here. I get it. So, here's my beets right there. They've been cooling down in the fridge. They're in a bag. That way I don't transfer purple juice anywhere else. So what I've already done, so I showed you the pots on the stove. In the oven at 170 degrees. Today I'm using wide mouth pint jars because some of the beets are really big. Chances are I'll have to cut them in half, like half moon shapes. But I want to be able to pack the jars as much as I can, and it's going to be even harder if I do that with standard necked pint jars. So we're going with wide mouth. The brine is super easy to do, and so some recipes call for like a spice mix or whatever. I'm literally make a brine, add fresh cloves. These are dried, but they're fresh. My whole kitchen smells like cloves every time I open up this cupboard. Oh, these smell good. If you guys want, if you like the smell of cloves, you can even put a couple of them in a pot of water on the stove at low heat, and it'll put the scent of cloves out into your room if you're really into cloves. So, basically now, before I move any further, I'm going to get a towel set up. Sorry, shitty ass light here, guys. Maybe that'll help. I'm going to get a cutting board set up with a towel underneath it to catch any of the drips. I'm putting vinyl gloves on my hands, or maybe one hand. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to work my camera with gloves on my hands, so I got to work that out. Maybe I'll use a fork and keep a dry hand and a clean hand. I may have to go that route for now. So let's just work through this. I'm jabbering on like a moron. All right, so I got my young lad running my camera here for a second. All right, so gloves on, knife, beets. They're slippery, okay? So just be aware when you're cutting them. So we're looking for about a 1/4 inch in thickness. Like I said, they're slippery, so be careful. All right, so this is basically what we're looking for. Okay. Now, I'm just going to shut the camera off. I've got a whole bowl, so you know what I'm working with. I got a whole bowl of beets. Before I cut them up, check these out. Can you guys see the pattern? There's white stripes. I mean, they've bled red now, but look at the difference. Pretty cool, eh? All right, so I am going to cut all these up into size, and I'm just going to put the cut beets right back into the bowl that I'm working with. And when I get all the beets cut back up, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll go from there. So we're doubling the recipe. So to double the recipe, we need 5 cups of white vinegar. Make sure that it's 5%, okay? Because they're starting to drop it down to 4% with some brands. So you need 5 cups of white vinegar. There's 4 in here. Do one more. Wrong side. Five cups of white vinegar. We need 2 cups of water. Two cups of water. And 2 cups of white sugar. And the recipe does not call for this, but I am going to be adding some pickling salt. About a third of a cup of pickling salt. Because I don't like my beets super sweet. And I have a feeling that they're going to be extra sweet. So we got it all in here, including a dog hair. Awesome, that's just what I'm looking for. Now, according to the recipe, this amount of brine is going to do 10 pint jars. I don't know if that's really going to work or not, but we'll find out. So for spice mixtures, like I said, there's various recipes that you can use for your spice mixture, but I'm just going with cloves because I like them traditional. So I'm going to get this heated up. In the meantime, I'm going to get these pots right here warming up again. I turned them off because it was just way too hot in the kitchen. And I'm going to clean up what's on the counter, and I'm going to get ready to start putting beets in jars. All right. I apologize for the noise in the background. It's the pot heating up. All right, so I just took my jars out of the oven. I bumped it up to 180 to get them nice and warm. So I'm doing this right on a baking sheet to try and contain some of the mess. And now basically all we're going to do is just start filling jars. We want them to be within, we want them to have 3/4 of an inch of headspace. And after we put the brine in, whoop, awesome, on the floor. After we get the brine in, we are looking for a 1/2 inch of headspace. So basically all we're gonna do, guys, is we're just gonna keep packing these into the jars until we either run out of jars or run out of beets. Hopefully, I can use up basically the whole bowl of cut beets here. Okay, so I'll get this taken care of. When they're all full, the brine should be basically ready to go, and we'll move on from there. And we're back. I have crammed as much beets as I possibly could into these jars. Okay, so now the next step, we're going to take our brine. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Brine, 4-cup measuring cup. We are going to just pour that in here to make it easier to work with. Now, you can use a canning funnel, right? You're going to need one of these. So we're looking for, holy geez, that vinegar in my eyeballs. So we're looking for 1/2 inch of headspace. So on your bubbler, because this is used to go inside your jars to get the bubbles out, it also has measurements here. Okay, can you guys see them? I don't know, probably can't. They're on there. You're gonna have to trust me. So we're looking for a 1/2 inch. So all you do is you hook this on the edge of the jar. So as an example here. So that is our 1/2 inch that we're looking for. And then all we're gonna do is we are just going to pour the brine into here until the brine touches the bottom of the debubbler, like that. And then there's our 1/2 inch of headspace. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up that and we'll move on to the next step. So of course the amount of ingredients in the recipe doesn't do 12 jars. So I've started a bit more brine, okay? And we only need some for 1.5 cups plus maybe to just touch this up. So in the meantime, get your cloves. Now don't, and I repeat, don't go overboard with your cloves in your jars. I would say 5 or 6 or 7. If you put too much cloves in here, they will be unpleasant. So we're just literally just going to throw them in the top, like that. Just going to do a few per jar. These things get really strong when they sit for a while. And then we'll just do the 2 that we're waiting on. Did we do those? No. There. And a couple more in there. So guys, also another thing, when you're buying your cloves, don't buy them at the grocery store. Get them at Bulk Barn. They are a fraction of the cost of what you pay in the grocery store. This whole bag was only a couple of dollars at Bulk Barn. At a grocery store, something like this up here is probably like 15 bucks. So I'm just gonna wait for that brine to finish up. We'll finish up these other 2 jars. Okay, topped them up. We've added the cloves to every jar. Next thing, what you wanna do is you wanna take your debubbler and you wanna go around all the edges and try and get the water out, or the bubbles out. That might be a little hard with these beets because we've packed them in pretty hard, and if we mess around with them too much, they might start changing from how we have them packed in here, making our life a little harder. But you want to get the bubbles out, okay? Don't skip safety. When you're canning, don't skip safety, okay? So we get this all done. I'm gonna do them all, and then we're moving on to something else. Okay, we got them all debubbled. Next, you're going to need paper towel and a bowl of vinegar. And what you want to do is you want to dip into the bowl and run the vinegar around the lids, around the top of the jars. Because chances are you got maybe a little bit of beet stuck on there, some sugar from brine. So just give them a once over. Because if there's contaminants on there, they might not seal, right? And if they don't seal, well, you're in a bit of trouble. So we wipe them all down. That's the easy part. Just like that. Okay, get that out of the way. Don't need that. Next, don't need brine. Get that out of the way. Okay, so on the Bernardin website, I am using Bernardin jars. Okay, they say to not boil the lids anymore. Apparently it has something to do with the rubber. So they said just wash them and put them on. So we're just gonna put them on. All right, I'll get all these lids on. See you in a second. Got them all on. Now they're going right in the water bath. You're gonna want your jar tongs. Let's see, no, that's not sketchy. All right. And then they're gonna go right into the pots. Oh, you guys can't see that. Focusing on the jar so I don't burn myself here. So we just load them up, put them in. When you're water bath canning, you need to make sure that your water is 1 inch minimum over top of the jars. So I don't have enough water in that pot, but that's okay because I have another big pot right here and I'm gonna load the jars into that, and I'll take surplus water out of that and put it into there. Loaded up the big pot, loaded up the smaller pot, 12 jars in total. Now what we have to do is we have to wait for the water in these pots to hit a rolling boil before we start the timer. And the timer is going to run for 30 minutes. Okay? Same as here, 30 minutes. So after this is all boiled and done, I'll show you the final product. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got jars and they're pinging. Any of you that can knows that that's one of the best damn sounds in the whole world. So they're done, they're out. It's almost midnight and I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, so I'm going the hell to bed. So I hope you guys like this video. Share this video, guys. Let's teach some people how to make pickled beets. They're easy. There's still enough time left this season to grow your own. They're about a 50-day crop. Oh, did you hear that? They're pinging. So if you like the video, subscribe, hit the button, do the things, you know, leave me a comment, thumbs up, because it really helps with the algorithm, and grow good food. See you guys.